Welcome once again, Marky Marks. It is time for the Rawcast. As always, I'm Blake Carter, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Will Rawson. How you doing, sir?
I am doing absolutely awesome.
Absolutely awesome, he says. So this was a different kind of week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it might have been maybe a first in WWE Raw history, even.
I think that's a possibility. For those that don't know, we had the Royal Rumble, which we're going to be talking a whole bunch about, of course, since we're doing Rumble afterthoughts. But we're also. Oh, you may want to mute the YouTube page.
It is. Whoa.
All right. I was going to say I could hear myself for a little bit, which is fine. I will always take care of myself. That's how narcissistic I am. But we had the Royal Rumble, and then due to the freak storm that they're having in the Northeast Coast, Raw and SmackDown were canceled, and they did kind of like a ESPN interview segment pretty much throughout the entire Raw broadcast this week.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to actually watch the. I think they even tagged it the Snowed In special. I didn't get a chance to watch that. I was a little busy earlier, and I didn't think I was going to miss too much, but I did read up a little bit about it.
And it was pretty much just rehashing rather what happened on the Rumble. So we're just going to get in it real quick. This man right here won the Rumble. Will, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's been predicted for a while now from a lot of guys in the business. I think even one of the earliest people to say it was JR. He's been calling it since, I think last June or May on one of his podcasts that Roman Reigns was going to headline WrestleMania, and he was spot on. I thought they were going to change it. I thought it was going to be a little too predictable, but they stayed with it, and he wins. I'm not going to say I had a problem with it just because I saw it coming. Now you got about 2 months to really fine-tune him, get a good story built out of it. So I'm not judging anything yet. Congratulations to Roman Reigns. I'm not one of the upset people. Let's just say that.
And let's go into that, because there was a lot of upset people, and WWE knew there was going to be upset people, and even sent his cousin The Rock to try to calm down those people.
Yeah, because I saw earlier the day there was rumors of Rock being around Philadelphia, and sure enough, he showed up there, I guess right before they went on to the live network broadcast of it. They were like, oh, The Rock's here. What is he doing here? I don't know. Pay your $9.99 to find out, basically, is how they went into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I knew he was going to come out there. Since he wasn't a Rumble entrant, I was waiting on it. I knew he was coming out there to help Roman, and I think that's exactly what he was used for, because they knew there was going to be an overwhelming amount of boos on the big happy moment. So Rock had to go up there and save the day, and I don't even think that worked. I think Rock went out there and tried his best, held his hand up, but then his facial expression changed like, well, shit, this isn't working, now what?
Exactly that. I mean, you can even tell with that one, he's just like, okay, well, but here's where I look at WWE. They knew that they were going to have Roman. They brought Rock, yet they pick Philadelphia.
Yeah. One of the most notorious crowds, if not the most notorious crowd in wrestling industry right now.
Exactly, and they have their favorites. And you know, people can go, oh, it's the internet community. Well, you know, I mean, to a degree, yes, but they're going to hate anybody that's a face.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
For the most part, yeah, they're going to cheer on those heels.
or the tweeners.
Mm-hmm.
But not really the faces. So I thought that was kind of a bad idea. I was not looking forward to how that was going to be presented. Now, I said on a Facebook group that you and I are in what I would have done if I was writing it, and what I would have had done was if once they heard the boos and they never calmed down, I would have had Roman spear The Rock, come out the next night, which we didn't know it was going to be snowed in when I said this one, and come out and said he didn't spear The Rock, he speared the people. Because the people don't respect him, and they all want a savior to get that belt but from Brock. But no, he's going to get that belt, and he's not going to give it to the people because it's about him.
And I think that was awesome writing, so kudos to you.
Oh, thanks.
I think that would have been the most perfect thing. I think they should have had a plan A, a plan B. Plan A, get Rock to go out there, try to help get him over. If they're still doing, pull out the plan B. Roman throws the spear on him, maybe even power bombs him after that, stands over him, walks out of the ring. And then ensue, the same storyline. That would have been awesome, and I think that really would have made the whole match more interesting at WrestleMania now that we have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I would have been invested in it that way since Brock is starting to go a little more face.
I would have too. And he's more, Brock's still kind of a tweener, but if we could have made Roman heel, and then with Roman, there could have been a nice face turn at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And they could still do this, but I don't think so, because I was reading and we saw a little bit last night where I'm going to make you respect me, Brock.
Exactly. I don't know. Roman's going to have one of the hardest jobs in the next couple of months to either get these people to really like him or at least hate him less than what they hate him already. In his interview after he won the Rumble, he was backstage, and they were asking about the crowd, and he said, yeah, I mean, what can you say about the crowd? They're crazy, They can love me, they can hate me, I don't care as long as I'm part of it. They paid their money, they can cheer me, they can boo me. It doesn't matter to me as long as I'm part of it and I'm making some noise.
And who does that sound like?
Yeah, exactly. And
that sounds just like Cena.
Exactly. It's one of those, they love him or hate him. He's the next, if he is truly the next Cena, he's already starting off just like Cena is now.
I mean, that's one or two words away from you can love me or you hate me, but this is what I do, and I'm gonna keep doing what I do because I'm John Cena. I mean, that's where that promo was for me when he's like, well, people pay their money, they can boo and cheer as long as I'm a part of it.
Exactly.
And I think it's so funny that they brought his cousin The Rock out because they're basically making the same mistake they made with Rock the first year he was there.
Yeah, the die Rocky die,
Yeah.
They're gonna hate him, and then what if he follows The Rock's path, and here in another year we're gonna be cheering him nonstop, and maybe even make him one of the greatest superstars of all time.
and maybe that's where they're going with this, but in this day and age, we can't wait that long anymore, especially how Vince gives us things so quickly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing that has worked with the Vince stay and wait method was making us wait until Mania to see Bryan finally win the belt.
Yeah, and I don't know, now that we've kind of moved on a little bit, I've thought about it more. Like I said, I'm happy that Roman won it. I didn't cheer, I didn't boo, I was just kind of lost. Well, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what Roman does. Let's see how WWE books him for the next couple of months.
And I wasn't either, but I do feel like these two were good candidates that could have won. even
Mm-hmm.
though I don't know if I could have seen them with a match with Brock, but maybe. And then a lot of people wanted this gentleman to have won the Rumble. But the one that really kind of made us all sad, even when I was viewing with you and your family, you and your wife and your sister, like we all got sad with this one.
Yeah, that picture says it all. Like, you felt hurt, you felt devastated. I thought he was going to be into the at least final 3 or 4 guys, but he was eliminated halfway through the match.
Yeah. And to their point, we felt the pain that he felt.
Yeah.
And that's really, I guess, all you can ask for from a good performer. I would have preferred to see him last just even 2 people longer than he did. But that's okay. And we had some decent people at the Rumble, like seeing Bubba back in his Bubba character was interesting.
I think that was probably one of the best parts, if not the best part of the Rumble, was Bubba's entrance, because as you notice, and I started to catch on a little bit, he was kind of confusing R-Truth for his brother Devon, and it was pretty funny just because he's the only black guy there, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was hilarious, and then he did the darty eyes that he used to do in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And which we haven't seen in a long time, because in TNA he was Bully, and Bully was sure of himself. Bully was more ECW Bubba than WWE Bubba. And if he's going to have anything to do with WWE, I would love to see a little bit more of the Bully character emerge. But, you know, people love him as Bubba. I mean, he's going to make money with Bubba. Be Bubba.
Exactly.
But that was good. But that was another WWE, let's make sure we please the Philly crowd.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, we had him, we had a couple other surprises, but that was obviously just a, shout out to Philly, shout out to ECW.
And then while he wasn't in ECW, he always had a good Philly following, was Diamond Dallas Page.
Exactly. Which, he was doing diamond cutters out of nowhere to everybody while he was in the ring until Rusev got his hands on him.
Which, you mentioned something that was a missed opportunity. Would you like to let the viewers know?
Yes. This is one of the things that I'm still confused about. Like, where the hell is Randy Orton? He was maybe supposed to make his return. I thought he was going to make his return. While Diamond Dallas was in there doing diamond cutters to everybody, I was expecting one of the next entrants to be Randy Orton. I thought he was just going to run from not the ramp, but maybe like right behind the announcers, just come up there out of nowhere and RKO Diamond Dallas. And I was like, oh, that would have been cool. They would have been doing the moves on each other, or maybe they did a double RKO Diamond Cutter on somebody and kind of tag teamed it for a couple minutes. I thought that would have been great.
That would have been great or hilarious. Actually, what I was hoping, because when you're like, well, maybe Orton will come, I was hoping Orton would take one side of the opponents and DDP would take the other, and they would have a RKO off against all the other people.
Yes, an RKO off. That would have been great. I don't know why WWE didn't try to cash in on that, because that would have been a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
It's a very much a missed opportunity. I think it might have just been because they didn't have anything for Randy at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next is we had the surprise entrance, Bubba and Diamond Dallas Page. Who else? Zack Ryder made his return back. So it was good to see him back. Looked like he got a little more in shape. He's a little buffed out again. We had the Boogeyman come back, yes, for a nice little appearance and a little creep off, I guess, between him and Bray Wyatt for a little bit. Who else? Was there any other big returns, or I can't think right now?
I don't think so.
I think that was it. The rest of it was just main roster people. We didn't have any NXT people, which that kind of blew my mind. But we didn't see the big returns that were getting talked about or whatever, such as Randy Orton. We didn't have him. We didn't see any kind of Sheamus return. And this isn't. She probably wouldn't have been in the Rumble, but we didn't see any kind of mentioning of AJ at all. And there was another one. Oh, RVD. He was expected to show up, and that would have pleased that Philly ECW crowd as well. None of them showed up at all or even mentioned.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we're going as far as, because Sheamus and Randy Orton, they're your main eventers, you know. I don't know where they're going to fit into this whole road to WrestleMania, because we only got about 2 months now.
Yeah, I don't know if they are. I don't even know if like some of the people we've been following heavily this year, like what the heck are we gonna do with Dolph at Mania? What are we gonna do with Daniel at Mania?
Exactly.
Like, at this point, I can really only tell you the main events, and we're gonna talk a little bit more because they're mostly getting practice at the next pay-per-view.
Exactly.
But we should just for the sake of prosperity here, we should mention the man that truly won the Royal Rumble.
The man that truly won the Royal Rumble?
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you talking about?
Curtis Axel.
Oh, yes. How could we forget Justice for Curtis? Hashtag Justice for Curtis. Curtis Axel, he was, I believe, the number 6 entrant.
Uh-huh.
He came on, he was on the stage, kind of doing his little warm-ups, and then Eric Rowan came out and basically took him out before he even had a chance to walk down the ramp, and basically took his place in the Rumble unofficially. They kept saying that he's not an official entrant. He's not an official entrant, but yet he got eliminated, and then Curtis Axel never made his official entrant into the Rumble, so technically he's still the winner. He never was eliminated. Hashtag Justice for Curtis.
Justice for Curtis. Though apparently I was reading some WWE.com comments, and if you ever want to see I mean, if you guys think we are marks, if you really want to see some marky mark people that really believe it's real, read the WWE.com comments. Because they're great. Most of them are probably children, but there are some that especially this guy, who said he's been watching since the first Royal Rumble, and in the original rules, if you didn't make it to the ring, and then the next person was called in 90 seconds, you were eliminated.
Well, I'm glad he knows those rules.
Yeah. But that was never said. Cole never said it. Mr. JBL didn't say it. Mr. JBL would have said something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Booker, I could definitely tell he was, wasn't there instead of with having Jerry there. Because if Booker was there, he would have been, whoa, where's Curtis?
Yeah.
Still, it was probably good that they had Jerry there, and it was nice to see Jerry again. I know he did the first live SmackDown. I don't know if he was on the next one, but it was good to see Jerry back. I love Booker. I grew up with Booker T. I was a big fan of Harlem Heat, mostly because they called Hulk Hogan the N-word. But I mean, I liked Booker T, but I'm not a fan of Shucky Duck, Quack Quack, Loud. Oh man, look at that! Look at that, man! Look at that!
Look at that!
That's my boy! That's my boy!
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be different having Booker there, but what can you do? Jerry's kind of getting up there in age and having health issues more and more, so it was nice having him, and I'm glad they're gonna start keeping him for the pay-per-views for the time being, at least.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they did with JR before they kind of just let him just go. And that's fine. I mean, granted, there's controversy that he was let go because of what happened, But even before with the WWE 2K14 press conference, but even before that, he was only like doing one show a year.
Yeah.
So I mean that's okay, and I want Jerry in good health as long as we can have him, and that's all right. But all in all, the Rumble was not that bad. The triple threat was incredible.
Triple threat stole the show. John Cena match stole the show. Brock Lesnar looked like a friggin' beast. He made Cena look good. Cena had some good moves. Seth Rollins was his usual self, awesome as usual, doing great spots, very believable, high energy. We had the J&J security take a couple bumps from both John Cena and Brock Lesnar, and the huge table spot, of course, the elbow from the top rope all the way down to the Spanish announce table, which we thought eliminated Brock Lesnar because we assumed he was gone, and all of a sudden he came back in and did some more suplexes and won the match. It was an incredible match.
It was. Even Cena did really well.
Mm-hmm.
And Cena did really well because he pulled some new moves. He never really got through all 5 moves of Doom.
No, he didn't.
And I was okay with that. I don't even know if we really saw a true, complete "you can't see me" knuckle punch.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we ever got one.
I mean, he tried a couple times and it didn't happen. But I mean, it was good, and Seth did great, and it showed. Though we'd seen it before, but Seth is main event quality.
Oh yeah, he's a main eventer. He's early in his career, and he's definitely proven it. I mean, I haven't said Roman hasn't proven it. Roman has, but I still prefer Seth over Roman. And all 3 of those Shield guys, they have bright futures. Let's just say that.
All 3 of those Shield guys do, and all 3 are really liked by Triple H. So I really think they have a good future. And it isn't, and I agree with you. And Roman he's just a little bit greener, but that's okay. He got into the game later.
Yeah.
And so did and people will go, well, he's a football guy. Well, it doesn't matter. He got in it later. I mean, if you look at DDP, he got in it way late and did terrific. Batista didn't get in until his 30s and did terrific. At least Roman is still young. He just doesn't have the experience that Seth and Dean have.
Right.
Though I will say, currently at the moment, Dean looks like he's always going to be in, at least for 2015, I think he's still going to be in mid-card status.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he's going to be getting a push. If he does, it's definitely going to come after SummerSlam, I think, or right around there, but I don't see it happening.
Unless he wins the next Money in the Bank briefcase.
Exactly.
But I don't know.
What else? Really, like you said, the Rumble was a good pay-per-view. The Rumble event itself, yeah, it was a little slow, I'll admit. But as far as the rest of the matches go, they were awesome. The Divas match was a little too long, kind of pointless as usual. But all in all, I thought the Rumble was a good show. Better than last year's. Mostly, I think the Triple Threat saved it. And I would give it a 7 out of 10 as far as the entire pay-per-view goes.
So you'd give it about a C?
Yeah, C+. I thought it was good, I'm happy that my $9.99 didn't get completely wasted.
Yeah, and even though everybody's doing that hashtag cancel WWE Network, I was very happy with it all, and I didn't think I'd actually give it a B or a B minus. Or an 8. I felt like it was a strong enough pay-per-view. I was really surprised how long the actual Rumble event was itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a nice surprise. And you didn't see a whole bunch of guys in the ring at the same time.
Right. I think the most we had at one time was 9. And that was near the last 10, 15 minutes.
And that was nice. And you got to see Bray kind of really show off his skills the first part.
Exactly. Bray was dominant when that thing started.
And then you still got to continue some great storylines. with like Miz and Mizdow got to do some stuff. I thought that was interesting and intriguing. And then Rusev, and then a little of Rusev's was kind of afterwards with his interview with John Cena. But you got to see how he'll be sneaky enough to do whatever he can to win. I thought that was cool.
He pulled a Rated R Edge Superstar move. He rolled out the bottom rope when there were still about 10 guys left in it. Kind of just disappeared for a while. Roman was celebrating because he won. And then all of a sudden, there comes Rusev. He comes back in and tries to get that last sneaky little victory, a la Rated R Superstar Edge. Didn't do it, but it was very cool that they're really showing, okay, he's willing to really cheat and be as dirty as possible to win.
And that was good. And that was another thing for Philly, was kind of the cheatingness. And I thought that was... Also, do you think Roman's mouth blood was real?
I don't know, because when it first started, it was so bright red, and there was a lot of it. But then a minute later, he looked almost like he was completely wiped off and clean.
Yeah.
It just kind of, I don't know, it looked very artistically, like it was artistically applied.
And they
I have no idea.
And they didn't keep the camera off of him for it, which they normally do. I felt like that could have been a capsule to kind of help the Philly crowd, but I don't think they bought it.
Yeah. It was one of those things, like I said, they were trying to get Roman over, so he was busted open, he was bloody, you know, he got destroyed by Big Show and Kane. We were supposed to be feeling that sympathy for him, overcoming the odds. And I think the blood was just part of that, really trying to make him look like a beaten down, torn down man.
Yeah, and we'll move past the Rumble now. Even though we usually at this point talk about Raw, as we said, wasn't really much of anything, and SmackDown is going to be more of the same, except they are having Daniel Bryan, I think, versus Big Show filmed in the ring that's in the Titan Towers.
Yeah, I believe so. Like I said, they did the big snowstorm. They canceled Raw. They had a little 3-hour show on the USA Network. They replayed the Rumble. They replayed the championship match. They had JBL go outside on top of the headquarters and do a weather report, which was, I heard, pretty funny. I would like to see that. I would like to try to find that on YouTube later tonight.
It's actually on, if you go through WWE.com, if you go on their Raw, whatever it's like called, Raw Wrap-Up or something, it's on the third page. They only have one of his segments, but he's like, "Oh, Michael, blah, blah, blah." It's pretty good.
It was a good idea. It was clever how they put all of that together. They had some interviews. They had Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns confront each other, and it sounded like it was, for as quickly put together as it sounded like it, pulled off, didn't waste our time. And now they postponed Raw, and they're going to have a Raw on Thursday with SmackDown.
Yeah, and that'll be good, I think. And we'll just have to see how it shows up. But we talked a little bit, and we're going to jump into the FastLane pay-per-view, which is basically what Rumble and Raw is leading to, which I said was kind of basically a practice for WrestleMania, especially with this.
Yes. Right after the Royal Rumble, we had the John Cena interview. Is interrupted out of nowhere by a very angry Russian just coming in there. Blah, 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 blah. I guess Cena didn't like being interrupted, and that started the feud. It came out of nowhere. They went face to face. They were rubbing noses together, doing Eskimo kisses. I don't know. But the match got set up. It's John Cena versus Rusev at FastLane, and I don't know where they just sprung that feud on us out of nowhere.
But we've been calling it for a year.
Yes, we have. I think in the last one I even said if anyone's going to if John Cena's not winning that triple threat, it's going to be him and Rusev, and John Cena's eventually he's going to be the one to defeat Rusev.
He is. Well, we've been saying that, like, I think after the second Rusev pay-per-view win.
Yeah.
Because he was undefeated on Raw and SmackDown up till then, so that's 8 weeks of undefeatedness. So we're like, well, there's only one person that can beat him, and that's Mr. America himself.
And I think that's how they're going to get Hulk Hogan involved, because I think Rusev might get the better of him at FastLane, because I think they want the big victorious moment that the Russian is finally defeated to be at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Rusev versus John Cena 2 at WrestleMania. And I think they're going to maybe try to get Hulk Hogan involved, put Hulk Hogan in John Cena's corner, just for a little more patriotism, because he's a real American.
They very well could. Actually, if I was booking it, I'd have Hulk Hogan coming out at Fastlane with Cena.
Yeah.
And then Rusev using Hogan and beating up Hogan to get the win.
Yep, that would be nice, and that would set that angry feud, because John Cena won't stand for that, and so I can see that happening.
I don't know how they're going to play it, but that's what I would do, because then Cena could go, if you beat up Hulk Hogan is America, and that's beating up America, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I guess it'll be Cena winning the U.S. title belt.
Yeah. That'll be different. Yeah, I wonder... That'll be different. I wonder if they're just trying to get a little more glory on that belt or what. I don't know.
Well, I mean, whoever gets it is going to have a nice push, not a huge push, but they're going to be beating John for that belt.
Yeah.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who it is.
But other than Cena and Rusev, we had Triple H come out with a little segment, and he basically called out Sting. He wants a face-to-face confrontation at Fastlane. He called Sting out. And that'd be the first time they've been in the ring together since Survivor Series, where Sting put the Scorpion Death Drop on Triple H.
Yes. They did do the which you can see right there, the point of doom at the ramp. But outside of that, yeah. But and that's fine. I think it's kind of odd to do an interview segment at a pay-per-view. That seems more like a Raw thing, but anymore it's about how can you get people to the network. And
yeah.
If that's what you have to do to get people to the network, an interview with Sting with Triple H, why not?
Yep, and like I said, that's all we have confirmed right now for the Fastlane pay-per-view. They did show a promo of it, which pretty much showed all your top guys. Who knows if they're going to be there, but it showed Bray, it showed Ziggler, Ambrose, it even showed Brock Lesnar. So we don't know if they're going to be in that or if it's just a quickly put together promo. I don't know, because it'd be kind of... I didn't expect Brock Lesnar to be there, and if he is he going to defend the belt or what, you know?
I don't think so. I think he's stuck with Reigns. So I don't know if he's going to be watching. They could easily have him be in a press box the entire time to show the importance of the championship. But to be honest, I don't know how many more dates WWE has left with Brock. So they may just do kind of like what they did when Roman was hurt and do a quick video segment during the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which would be fine.
So, like I said, that kind of leads us a little bit clear on the road to WrestleMania, but not too much. We just got, all right, it's going to be Reigns versus Lesnar, and probably going to be Cena and Rusev. We're guessing Triple H and Sting are going to be in a match together at Mania, and it's going to be set up at Fastlane. But other than that, we don't really know because nothing's clear. We don't know Orton, Rollins, Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler. Who knows if Undertaker might come back, 'cause that's always up in the air. We don't know what's going to really happen with all their top card guys.
Or Daniel Bryan, I'll add.
Daniel Bryan, how could I forget that one? Yeah.
There's so many people that we don't know what they're going to do with. Uh, they may need another gimmick battle royale kind of thing that they did, like with the Andre the Giant one
Yeah.
last year, which would not be a bad thing to do, just because there's so many people that aren't a part of the show yet, and I don't know how they're going to do it. Also, at this moment anyway, it looks like it's probably going to be Paige and Brie, or Paige and Nikki rather, at WrestleMania.
I saw an interesting rumor today. I didn't read the article. I think it was from Bleacher Report that they were saying that Stephanie versus AJ should happen, which I don't know why, but I would like to see that. I think it'd be cool.
That could be a super easy storyline to do. Either she gets the belt and Stephanie wants the belt, or let's play some real world things without quite mentioning her husband's name.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be really careful, because I don't know, with whatever settlement they had, they may never be able to say his name again.
Mm-hmm.
He may be a Chris Benoit without murdering his family.
Yeah.
Which is in bad taste for me to say, and I apologize for that, but that's kind of the level that they've made CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep him on all the network interviews that he already interviewed for.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, that's our, I guess the road to WrestleMania has officially begun, but they haven't really gone too far down that road. It's all kind of still up in the air besides a couple of matches. We don't know what they're going to be doing. So far we got those singles matches and a couple other rumored single matches. So are we going to see a couple of tag teams? Are we going to see a battle royal like you said? I'm hoping so, because I don't want it to be all singles matches, but I don't want those top talents to be wasted. Usually they're really good at wasting the mid-card talents, but there's a lot of top-card guys they have no storylines going for right now.
And really, that's going to come bite them in the back because of this right here.
Yeah.
Because Austin is going to have a live podcast next Monday after Raw with Triple H.
Yep, they're going to have the live broadcast, which I'm sure he tries to respect a little bit of their secrets and business, but he breaks, there's no such thing as it's all real. It is, breaking kayfabe, and he's going to ask those questions like, what the hell are you going to do with Ziggler? What the hell are you going to do? What are the plans? You only got 2 months. What are you guys doing? And it's going to be an interesting little Stone Cold podcast.
Well, I mean, he brought up last time about Cesaro, and even though, like, Vince was like, oh, I'll talk about Punk a little bit, Austin made that like a 30-minute segment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of live ammunition that they're giving to the Rattlesnake, and he's going to talk about the booze.
Oh yeah, he's going to be calling that out. I think that will be actually his main focus is, do you really think Roman is ready to be that top guy? Do you think he is ready? Did you not hear those boos? You guys sent out The Rock. That didn't help. What are you guys going to do to get this kid over?
He's going to mention that, and he's also going to mention, remember when I turned heel, it didn't work. This kid doesn't work as a face, because anytime he makes a point, he references it to something that happened in his life.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things we're going to see next week. That's really going to be the biggest part of Raw, and that's why I bring this up. It's not even going to be Raw, even though we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's going to be Stone Cold afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be probably a big focus for our little Rawcast, is going to be the aftermath of Stone Cold's interview.
It will be. Now, he's going to ask some questions, loyal viewers, that we can tell you right now that's not going to have an answer. He's going to definitely ask, is Taker going to be there?
Oh, yeah.
And Trips isn't going to give an answer. Even, and he might not even know.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be interesting. I know Steve will talk a little bit about their past, but I think he's really going to want to know from a business standpoint what Triple H thinks about certain things. And I'm really looking forward to it. He's definitely going to be talking about Roman the most.
Yep.
Because he didn't want Roman to win the Rumble. He wanted Bray to win the Rumble.
I have Bray in my final 3. I didn't want Roman, but I knew Roman was going to get it.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think Bray was built up well enough, but before we end, we got to talk about this rumor. I really don't want him to face Undertaker.
No. Maybe 5 years ago. Yeah. I don't. I think if Undertaker is coming back, he needs to come back for this Mania. I don't think he has another one in him for sure. That was one of the rumors when you were making your booking. I was thinking, oh man, it would be so sweet if Undertaker came out and won the Rumble and he got his revenge match for the belt against Lesnar. That didn't happen. And if that didn't happen, I really don't want him to be at Mania. I think he should just be done. He should show up for an appearance, maybe even come out there and shake Lesnar's hand or something. I don't know, but I don't think he should be involved in a match.
I don't either. We've been talking about maybe he should go in the Hall of Fame, maybe not, maybe when they're in Texas next year. But we do know that Arnold is now in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. Good for him. I mean, he has been there off and on. I'm not really into the whole celebrity wing of it. I can understand it, why it's there, but I never really get all hyped up for the celebrities that get inducted.
I usually don't either, but he has inducted, I believe, 2 different Hall of Famers. I know Bruno was one, and I think someone else too. I'm forgetting who the other one was at this point, but he's a big fan and a big friend of wrestling. He's someone that deserved to be there. A couple years ago when they did Drew Carey, I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. So congrats to him. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not excited just because I'm not into the celebrity part of it, but he definitely does deserve, if any celebrity deserves a shot, he's definitely right up there, number 1.
And I'm sure he'll give a better speech than Mr. T.
Oh, yeah, by far.
No
more speeches about my mama.
All right, guys, we'll end this one. Thank you for joining us once again. Thank you for subscribing. Check out our Facebook. Talk to us on Twitter. We'd love to see you a little bit more, and just let us know what you think, because we can always craft it around you, because without you, there isn't any show. Will, what do you got to say?
I say that hopefully all those WWE stars stay warm in their hotels and don't get buried alive by snow, and we'll get to see a Raw on Thursday. We'll get to see a Raw on Monday. It'll be an awesome week for wrestling, and I'm going to have fun. I was happy with the Rumble. It was my birthday party. Thanks for coming, man. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Alrighty. Well, see you later.